Good morning, students. In today's class, we will see some basics of C language, and we will see how to write uh, program in C++. So this is, as you know, Turbo C. If you want to write any program, you need to choose file and then open new. This will open a new file. So as in the earlier classes, we have seen the structure of C++ program. It includes hash include, that is, this is nothing but file inclusion, then class definition, then member function definition, and lastly main function. Right. So this is a general structure of C++ program we have already seen. Right. Now if you want to write a simple program, right, you need to, suppose I want to write a simple program for printing hello world. So I need to include the file. So I will include stdio.h. Then again I need to include some more files, but we will first try to write a main program. So void main, I am writing program wherein I will be printing hello world. Cout hello world. Right. So what is this cout? Cout is a just a replacement for uh, printf used in C language. It will print whatever contents are there on the screen. So cout has different formats. For example, you can simply print a word. We will see later on how we will evolve how cout and cin are used. So for time being, you can see that cout is used to print values on the console, that is screen. And another function is there, cin, which is used to read from the console. And so this there are two operators used. This operator, that is 2 greater than sign, is called as extraction operator, which extracts the input from the input stream. And second operator is double less than operator, which is called as insertion operator, which inserts into the output stream. Okay. So we are trying to write a simple program. Okay. So I will try to run it. So alter F9, definitely it will give some errors. So what errors are there? Alter F9 is used to run the or compile the program. So what it say? Undefined symbol cout. So cout is undefined symbol. It is saying why? Because we need to include some file wherein cin and cout are residing. So I will include that file. That file name is iostream stream.h. Yeah. So iostream.h means input output stream.h, right? So like I have already said, cout, that insertion operator will insert the contents into output stream, whereas cin will extract the content from the input stream. Right? So iostream.h, this file I have included. Now I will try to again compile it. Control F9. It is not giving any warning. You can save this file as well. So I will save it by some name. Let's say experiment 1 dot cpp, and cpp files are saved uh, with the extension as .cpp. Yeah. Now you can run it. To run, we need to type control F9. So it has run and got out. So we can see the output by typing alter F5. So this is how a simple program gets run. Right? Now there are two things. Firstly, the output does I am not able to see the output. So to see the output, I need to type alter F5. In order to avoid that, I can write here get ch. Get ch is a function which is used to input a character. So as you know, the programs will get executed very fast. So in order to stop your program, you need, why the program will stop? It will only stop for the input. Otherwise, it will execute the instructions and go. Right. So in order to stop your program from running, we give a function which inputs one character from the input string. Right. So now you will be able to see the output. Now again there is one more error. Function getCH should have a prototype. Means what? This getCH is residing in some file which we need to include. So I need to include one more file, hash include, in which file it resides, that is conio.h. Conio.h means console input output.h. In this file the function getCH resides. So again I will save it by using F2. I will try to run it, compile it, no error. Now I will run it. Okay. So you can see the output hello world, hello world. Now it is coming for two times because the previous whatever output was there in the input stream was stored over there. So that output also get displayed. Now I want to remove the previous output. So for that I need to write one more instruction, that is clrscr. This instruction will clear the screen, that is input stream, it will clear. So now I will try to run it again, control F9. Now you can see the output. Right. Now there are different escape sequences. Some of the commonly used escape sequences are, for example, /n. /n is used for a new line. Right? So you can see F2, yes, alt F9, control F9. Okay, so it is printing in the next line. Right? It is also called as form feed carriage retain. Now if you want to shift it to some other point, so I want to give tab, so you can write /t alt F9 and control F9. Okay. So it is giving now tab before printing the output. So number of escape sequences are there, like /n/t/v. Right? So most commonly used are /n and /t. Again you can end it with and L. eh. So what it will do, it will print the next output in the next line. So eh, this is first program. I will try to run it. F2, Alt F9, Control F9. eh. So NN will also do the same thing as /n. It will after printing the statement, it will put the output cursor to the next line. I will understand this one. Now this is a simple output which we want to print. Now sometimes we want to use operators, right, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and many more. So different types of operators are there. Operators, different types of operators are there. First type is arithmetic operators. So what are the arithmetic operators that are available? That is plus, minus, multiplication, division, and modulus. This all arithmetic operation you have already seen. We will try to write a simple program and try to generate the output for same. Eh. So whenever you want to perform some operation, you require operands. Now what is operands? The operands are the variables or literals on which the expression will be executed or the operation will be done. So that is what the operands are. The operands are the literals or variables on which a certain operation is done, right? So we are having different arithmetic operators. We will try to do some arithmetic operation. For example, I want two variables and I want to perform some addition, right? So first of all, I need to declare those variables. Let's say int a comma b comma c, two variables to input values and another variable to output the value, right? Now I will change this a little bit. So what I want to perform is c equals to a plus b operation. So I will write c equals to a plus b. Now always understand, left side of assignment operator is the output, whereas right side of the assignment operators are the inputs for the program. So here right side of a is right side of assignment, that is equals to, is a and b. So we need to input a and b, and what we need to output, we need to output c, which is the addition of a and b. So we will write c in a. So what we are doing, we are inputting the values. To input, we need to use cin, as I have already told you. And cin is associated with extraction operator, which takes the value from the input stream. So cin a, you can again input some variable. You can have two cin to input two variables, or you can use a single cin to input two variables. So cin a and b. Now you need to output Cout. What is the output? Is C, right? So this is a simple program which will perform addition of A and B, which will input A and B and perform addition, that is C equals to A plus B, and perform output, right? We will try to run it and then we will see what happens next, right? So I will save it again by using F2, then alter F9, control F9. Okay, so it stops here, no message is there. As I know, I need to enter two variables, that is A and B, right? So it will give me addition. But in this program, we are not prompt for the input and we don't know what is the output. So in order to justify our program, we need to write some strings, or we need to output that what this program is all about. So I will write here cout slash n, enter the value of A and B. So now this string will be displayed in output, right? So whenever our program will run, we know that what we need to input. We need to input the value of A and B, right? Similarly, this C output, what this C is, that also we need to write. So we need to write sum of A and B equals to, like this you need to write. So I will again try to run it, alter F9 and control F9. So now you get the prompt as enter the value of A and B. Now you know. Now any layman, if he try to run this program, he will understand, okay, you need to input the value of A and B. So I will enter the value of A and B. Now it will give me output as well, at sum of A and B equals to 5. Okay? Right. So first type of operator we have seen, that is arithmetic operation, that is plus, minus, asterisk, slash. Now see, plus, minus, asterisk and slash can operate on any type of data type, right? But modulus operator can only work on integer type data, right? What this modulus give? It gives us the remainder. If you operate on the float values, the remainder will always be 0. So it will give an error that it is invalid data type, right? So you need to understand that modulus operator will always give you the integer value, and you need to use operand as integers only. Okay? Now there is automatic type conversion, which we call as typecasting of variables can be done. So what this typecasting is, suppose you are using one float and one integer. So these two are two different data types. So automatic typecasting will be done. So whenever you will be having one operand as float, the result will always be float. if you have both the operand as integer, you will get output as integer only, right? So in typecasting, the integer will get typecast to float if one of the operand is float, right? Next type of operators are logical operators. Logical operators. Logical operators, you must have already seen logic gates. So logic operators are nothing but whatever we write in logic gates, that is and, or, and not. These are called as logical operators. Generally we use these in control statements, conditional control statements and looping control statements. Then another type of operators are there, relational operators. Relational operators. Relational operators are the operators which shows relation between two different variables or literals, that is less than equals to, greater than, equals to, equals to, and not equal to. These are the relational operators. Then these are used in conditional statements generally, wherein we want to find out whether a number is greater than, less than, or equals to, or not to another number. Then there is bitwise operators. Bitwise operators, it is and, or, and not. And two more are there, left shift and right shift in bitwise operator. So and, or, not. And you already know, if two variables are there it will perform and means if one is there, one, that logical table for the operators we have seen. And so and means if both the condition are true, then it will give you true value, or means if any of the condition is true, it will give you true value. Not means negation. Left shift means it will shift the bit left, and right shift means it will shift the bits right. Some more operators are there, is extraction operator. Extraction operator is with cin. Normally we write like this. Then insertion operator, we generally use it with cout. Cout. Then scope resolution operator is there. Scope operator, which is written as double colon. And scope, it find out the hidden scope of the variables, and we will see later on. uh, then there is other type of operators are ternary operators. Ternary operators, it is written like question mark, and these are ternary operators. Then again, increment, decrement operators are there, like plus plus, comma, minus minus. These are the mostly operators we use in programs in C++. Okay. Now we will see syntax of some of the control statements which we have already studied in the last semester. Eh, so we will see the basic control statements which are there. So first control statement is if. This is a conditional statements or control statements if it has expression, or you say condition, then statement 1, if else, statement 2. In this structure, if the condition is true, then the statement 1 will get executed. If condition is false, then statement 2 will get executed. Right. So this is a general syntax of if else statement. You can have a simple if statement as well, wherein else part will not be there. In that case, if the condition is true, then the statements inside the block of if statement will get executed, otherwise it will not execute. Right. So this is type of conditional statement, that is if else statement. uh, there are different forms of if else statements. If it is nested, it is called as if else statement. That means in a single if else statement you can have more than one if else statement. Okay. So that's all for today, friends. We will stop here and continue in the next one. Thank you.